So one day, I decided that instead of losing another League of Legends game, I was going to do something interesting. I'm going to play every single Dreamcast game, and I'm going to document how I feel about them. I was born in the late 90s, and played the Dreamcast fishing games, but that's about it. I know there's some good games on this system, so I'm going to judge them by today's standards. On screen now are my favourite games, so you know where my opinions come from. I can't stand wasting time. Recently I binge watched through all of Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and the filler nearly made me blow my brains out. And because a lot of Dreamcast games are arcade game ports, I think I'm going to appreciate a lot of the games that get straight into it. Or maybe I won't, let's see. Here are the ground rules. No visual novels, I'm not playing Sailor Moon Adventures 1 through 20, I'll give each game a fair shot, and the game must be obtainable. No more f***ing around, let's get into it. This is your captain speaking. I have no idea how to fly. This is Aero Wings, a stunt flying game. A really hard one too. I'm no pilot. All my experience is flying on Battlefield games. It's a real thrill trying not to put my jet through someone's window. Unfortunately, I wasn't so successful when it came to cliff faces. Bollocks. There's a plethora of appropriately named maps. Mate, the night map looks sick. Alright, this is piss easy now. Let's go complete the campaign. Fucking hell, get on with it.
Actual flight, the number 5 pilot, Shinji, will be watching over you. Good luck out there.
Mate, Shinji can f*** off. This guy is a complete dickhead. Like, seriously, f*** this guy. This guy's been the bane of my existence for the past 2 hours. Just listen to this one mission. He wants you to fly in a straight line and not break formation.
Don't break formation! 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 What are you doing? Low altitude. You need more practice. Too many G's.
After several hours and 10 berating missions from Shinji, I finally did it.
This is the Blue Impulse pilot emblem. Put it on your left shoulder. Don't break formation! You are now a dolphin rider. Train hard and don't let us down.
I proceeded to immediately let them down. F*** this guy. I'm parking up my plane and I'm never dealing with this shit ever again. This game's a lot like the first one. Pretty much the same stuff, but there's guns this time, and plenty more insults. I think you could argue this looks worse than the first game. What got me a weirdo? They didn't even trust me in a jet plane for the missions, and then they proceeded to blow me up.
Alert! The main enemy missile!
I will give anyone a $5 who can land on this aircraft carrier. I'm landing. Both games beta. Edward Martini forgot to pay his TV license. What will he do?
Alone in the dark. The new nightmare.
Somewhere above Croydon, he boards a high-class flight, and then f***ing jumps off of it. I don't think they know what characteristic means. He begins navigating to Magistrate's Court. He tries to book an Uber.
It's 1999, you muppet.
He then asks a local resident for directions.
Excuse me, cock. Which way to Magistrate's Court?
Oh, hello. It's me, dying man on the floor, and I'm dying.
And says hello to the local wildlife. Eventually finding the entrance. Swimming through the lovely water, he is mercilessly killed by the Loch Ness Monster. I may have forgotten to say. Eileen had a much more helpful characteristic though. After running into this fence for 20 minutes, I decided that maybe it was locked and I should break into this old woman's house instead.
Me binge is sore. Woo!
I then proceeded to run around aimlessly for what seemed to be maybe 2 hours. This game is extremely cryptic and I had absolutely no idea what to do. After a while, I succumbed to the madness and moved on. Resident Evil tier. I'm not going to waste your time with this one. This game fucking sucks. I don't know how they managed it, but they managed to make high-speed boat racing insanely boring. Noticing the geographical quirks was the most fun part about this game. Check out this phone box under a bridge. And a gentleman's lounge. This one's bad, but there's worse to come. E tier.
Wait, she's got tits, bro.
Wait,
this game looks kind of sick.
And sick it was. Check out this insane backstory. Once Master Chief wakes up, you're right in the action. I was getting burnt alive 4 seconds into playing.
Again, bastard.
Ah!
Wait, you just been napalm?
Luckily for me, I found a high precision rifle.
Wait, just give me a minute. Oh.
The missions are simple and snappy, but unfortunately they hadn't figured out checkpoints in 1999.
There's a fucking tank and a helicopter. No, please not from the start. Please not from the start. Please not from the start. Please stop.
I have a feeling it's from the start.
No!
A world exists.
I do actually like this game though. The second mission, you go through a portal chasing a blue spy from a battlefield into a bathtub. This must have been everything you would have wanted from a toy soldier game when you were a kid. I genuinely think this is a great game. I'm gonna put it in the A tier.
What's this game about? I have no idea. Huh?
Still got no idea.
I've got high hopes for Blue Stinger.
I would have had even higher hopes if the opening cutscene wasn't 4 minutes long. We team up with the dynamite duo of Elliot and Dogs. This game looks pretty clean. The main character's got insane drip. I get to walk through corridors for a few more hours, pick up cryptic items, get lost and backtrack. I ended up playing this for about 3 hours and I don't have a clue what the game's about. The plot tries something crazy. I don't know what it is, but it's something crazy. You crash land on an island, something explodes, there's an angel. But is it fun? No. I wanted to see what everyone else thought. And this game got really good reviews. Someone even said the thing about this game. I did think it was an RPG though. The Dreamcast absolutely loves a zombie game or two. Or 20. To no fault of the game's own, I think there was a problem with the syncing of voices, but kinda worked in its favor.
My name is Elliot G. Ballad.
Where's Tim?
Who are you?
Dogs.
You might think it's odd that I've got the soundtrack constantly playing, but that's the game. This plays on loop. It creates this sense of tension even when nothing's happening. There was an interesting part where an enemy knocked a hot dog out of my hands before I could eat it.
Fit.
I knew it. She's perfect. She's my kind of girl.
Okay. This guy's got it.
Now you could call me a hypocrite for enjoying this game but not liking the boat racing game. But does the boat racing game have Sean Ron Poe? My good northern friend James knew that I'd like this game.
I already know that this is going to be like top tier Quebec band fun.
I'm a simple man. I like car racing and I like funny pictures. If this was in the arcade in the 90s, this must have been sick. Buggy Heat goes in the B tier.
Good game alert.
Holy sh**, we've got ourselves a good game with an even better difficulty slider. I'll be f***ed if I know who any of these characters are, but it does not matter. You can tell this is an arcade port because there's no cutscenes, nothing, you just play. That puts it in the A tier already for me. But then listen to this soundtrack, look at the graphics. There's a guy on a hoverboard with a laser gun. If you've got a second controller and a friend, co-op would be great. I have neither, so I can't tell you for sure. There's nothing bad about this game, even the translated names are great. Cannon Spike is S tier. Somewhere, one day, there was a man on a boat, and no one knew what was happening.
Why? Why did they shoot us down? Is that... Leonard, what happened?
Who is it?
It's me.
Holy shit.
That was sick.
What happened? What's going on? Who are you?
Are you infected too?
What are you doing here? What is it? What's going on? What?
I'm on the B category, and somehow I've managed to play 16 games so far that are corridor simulators where no one knows what a zombie is. I wonder how many times I'm going to play Resident Evil before I play Resident Evil. Hilarious cutscenes, but nothing else to report for this game. I'm going to put it in the Resi tier. Charge and Blast. Yeah, just another dreadful arcade port. Maybe it could use the blaster attachment. Or maybe it sucks. But maybe if you really like charging and you really like blasting, this will be the game for you. But it wasn't for me. Moving on. F. Why can't all intros be like that? I was so happy to finally see a fighting game after so much Resident Evil. I put plenty of hours into Mortal Kombat 9. When I was young, my dad beat me at Street Fighter 2. This feels so fast by comparison. Feels good to just press buttons. All of the moves are so fluid and the attacks come out so fast. Every hit sounds like you got smashed by a bus. And they have my favourite shop. I especially like how much thought goes into all of the characters in the background. I would have appreciated some combo direction, but I imagine that was in the manual. This is the real intro to the battle. No more scrolling wall of text. Look at how insanely detailed the fire is in the background. This is a genuinely great game. Even though it's a bit bare bones, you could release this today and it would have plenty of players. What's absolutely crazy is the quality of this game compared to the next game I'm going to play. Another game in the A tier.
Sprouts, mate.
I genuinely had to play Chicken Run. My expectations were low, but f me. One positive for this game is that it did inspire another great one.
Wait, it's like Assassin's Creed.
But seriously, this game is terrible and it must have absolutely traumatized children. What the fuck? This is a minigame with a great music soundtrack, but you feed hens and catch eggs. How thrilling. This good game, bad game combo is something that you're going to see a lot coming up. Lol. See, what I actually meant to say was bad game into bad game, because this one fucking sucks too. It's just a boring puzzle game, that's it. Now before you watch this thrilling gameplay, this game did indeed come out before Rollercoaster Tycoon. I shit you not. Now it might look boring, but look at the absolutely thrilling, insane roller coaster I made.
Okay. Holy.
This is pretty riveting.
Ah! Ah!
Please let me play a good game. Please. Let that be a lesson: if you get caught filming a girl's tits, you will be blown up by a tank. I really didn't expect to play an RTS game, to be honest with you. And it's not too bad. The controls are always going to be a bit difficult, but Halo Wars was good, so don't count it out. This is a middle of the table game. If you didn't have a PC and this was all you could get to and you really wanted to play a real-time strategy, it's passable, it's good, it's not bad. I played a few missions and I played a few skirmish. One thing I was really grateful for is there was no wall of text this time around. I'm going to chuck it next to Blue Stinger.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi.
Here's the thing about Crazy Taxi. This game isn't good, and that's exactly what makes it so good. If the physics were sound, if the graphics were sound, it wouldn't be any fun. All of the best bits of this game is you versus the car. Forget about the clog, your own vehicle is what you're really fighting against. I really do think they missed a trick when it came to porting this game. The arcade mode's fun for a little bit, but you're not at the arcade anymore. You're on a home console and it needs more content. And they delivered on that with the original mode. You've got power-ups such as the Crazy Slide, Crazy Boost, Crazy Drop-Off CJ from San Andreas, Crazy Drive into the Ocean. It's such a shame that they didn't include more of these obstacle courses. This stunt course in the middle of the ocean is easily the best one for me. They should have focused in on this and made some crazy hard levels. That's what so much of the Dreamcast was. Not quite to NES levels, but so many of these games were bulked out by crazy difficulty spikes. And I feel like Crazy Taxi 1 really misses out on that. Such a shame they never made a Crazy Taxi 2. Wait, they made a Crazy Taxi 2? Come on, did any of you know this? Crazy Taxi 2? Either I've lived under a rock, or this really went under the radar. If you thought the Crazy Jump was crazy from the first Crazy game, this is a crazier Crazy Jump. They've even got Crazy Golf? Crazy Hurdles, all thanks to the car's new Crazy Hydraulics. And Crazy Average Commute on the M6. This game's everything that the first one could have been. And I was slightly concerned that the refined controls would take away from some of the fun, but it's just janky enough to keep its flair. I'm glad they took a step back and made some more really crazy levels, because I think the arcade mode in this one sucks. They moved the location from the coast to New York. It's lost its punky edge and has been replaced by a few grey walls. But don't let it get you too down, because the stunt stages have really been kicked up a notch. For f***'s sakes. This game was made by bastards, for bastards. My favourite one is where you take the Jackson 5 and jump them across a skyscraper. Crazy Taxi 2 is exactly how you make a sequel. Take everything great about the first one and make it better. No frills, nothing stupid, everything crazy. Oh, that was a bit cringe, wasn't it? Both games in the crazy tier. I love this game, and I swear it's not because I love Sublime 2, and that was the opening track when I booted it up. Maybe it was, but either way, this game just made me feel great as soon as I started playing it. I put so many hours into Tony Hawk's 3 on the PS2, and I'd played the second Dave Mirra's game on GameCube, so it was always going to be fun to me to play the first one. And maybe this game isn't really good on a technical level, but I love playing it anyway. Realistically, the bike has an absolute mind of its own. The controls don't seem to do what you want them to do. Maybe that's part of the challenge. Maybe the 10-foot render distance could do with increasing. But maybe all of that stuff is alright. Look at this gnarly grind. I played this for a few hours. Unlocked a few levels, but there was one enemy I had to beat. I had to beat the motherfucking train. I don't know if I didn't have the stats or the skill, I just couldn't fucking get over this thing. Please leave a comment if you managed to get over this. I wasn't expecting ragdoll physics, that's the first time I've seen this so far. There's so much variance of games on this console, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. Here's the tier list so far. Praying for anything above Can we find a game worse than Chicken Run? Can we find one better than Cannon Spike? I hope so. First up's one of the poster boys of the Dreamcast, Daytona 2001. Known in the UK as M42 Simulator, Ramming people into the central reservation is a good tactic. It's a complete revamp from its original release on the Saturn. It even has the grasshopper. I was really excited to play this one. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. I love racing games, and this was just a bit shit. I can't be too upset though. It's not aggressively bad like some games that we know. And having 20 cars on the circuit is pretty impressive. Most racing games now don't have that many. The colour's good, the sense of speed's good. They really could have done with some more interesting circuits. And overall, it's going to finish middle of the pack. Oh my god, we've got a contender for the throne. This game was so sick. I genuinely cannot believe this is for the Dreamcast. Why don't they make Dead or Alive anymore? This game is at least 20 years ahead of its time. For starters, I get to kick an old man off a 50-foot drop. Not to name any names, but if we put this game side by side graphically with one, say, like this one, it's crazy that they're on the same system.
Ah! 64 gig RAM?
Old school difficulty spike came in and me up. I got my ass handed to me for 3 hours straight by this one singular fight. Kasubi does not f**k around. She mercilessly punched my dick off. Just take a look.
Should have pumped out the Jenny! Neve bought my PC.
But then... she won again.
You got this.
Bro's on about 2 rock.
Fucking good. Okay.
Who wins?
Kick her head in.
Yes!
Did you kick her in the
What
minge?
is he holding her? What is happening?
Oh my god, it's the final boss. He's gonna be so hard. This is the best game yet, and it gets its own spot in the S+ tier. No, not a scrolling wall of text. No. Encouraging. This is just like Aero Wings, but slightly worse. You can't roll your jet on command, and you can't go in third person either. Those two things are kind of important when you're playing a game like this.
Josh, this is a fucking D-tier game. If ever I saw one, you haven't got a fucking clue what you're doing. The Bagman just done the 911.
Shit. At least there's no one shouting in my ear this time around though.
Don't break formation!
The air to sea combat was cool. Not quite sure why we're playing bingo though. It was a bit refreshing to play a Dreamcast game where there's no crazy bullshit going on though. This is just a game. As you'll see coming up, that doesn't happen very often. The Dreamcast has some of the most bizarre games I've ever played. And this is just an honest air combat game. With the games that are coming up, I really wish I enjoyed this game a little bit more whilst I played it. Finds itself just below middle. Alright, here we go. Would you believe me if I told you this is a submarine game with live action featuring David Walliams?
Resulting debris and shockwave have severely damaged Arcadia.
Deep Fire is one of those games that's confusingly bad. It has such a big scope, done in the most boring way possible. Float around in your Ponzi submarine and shoot rocks. I just can't imagine what a team meeting for this game would look like. Maybe if you're really lucky, every now and then you'll get attacked by a rogue fish. 50 people must have put their idea into the brew and this is what happened.
What the f is the spider doing?
Why is the spider shagging the thorium?
I have an actual submarine driver in the call, so give us some submarine facts.
Submarines go underwater, mate. Sometimes when they power up the engines, they have to say it's submarining time before they go out.
I took a cheeky little pot shot at this turret. I got f***ing arrested. Wait, did I get arrested?
Fucking court-martial.
I'm gonna put this game in its own tier. It's not terrible, but it's not good. Now don't ask me why, but I could only manage to get 102 Dalmatians to work in French.
Man, this game is sick.
Oh, merci de m'avoir sauvé.
Why is it just in a box?
No time wasting, even by kids game standards, this is fucking terrible. There are so many better games for kids. I'm going to put it in MDR tier. Daisy Duck is mercilessly strangled to death by some fat bloke. In order to not be cuckolded, Donald goes on an adventure to save her, but it turns out it's Crash Bandicoot. and then he fucking dies. Please give me a good game. Please, please, please. If you ever plan to play every Dreamcast game yourself, I implore you to skip the D section so you don't have to play 28 fucking Disney games like I had to. For the sake of your sanity, I'm going to switch up the order of these so we don't have to play 2 Buzz Lightyear games back to back. It's going in whatever tier that is. Holy fuck, I don't know where to go. It could be anywhere. What the fuck is that? Oh. Oh. Ah! Shit, the door's locked. I need to use the device. Ah! 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 Okay, what does this say? Huh? Huh? Oh fuck, there goes my gun. Oh, you're fucking getting it now. Fucking get ready, mate. Let's see who gets killed this time, you cunt.
What we ought to do is just call in the chopper and get off this death trap.
That's a great idea.
It's just Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Lord, give me strength. Please, God.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I come...
Unfortunately, I'm being held at gunpoint by my friends that loved this game as a kid, so I can't say anything too bad about it. The controls were spot on and not at all annoying, and I didn't fall off of every ledge 30 million times. What I will say is that I like the verticality of it. The levels are absolutely massive, and I imagine when you're a kid it's fun to explore. I am, however, 27. Yeah, this fucking camera, I'm gonna kill myself.
I don't think I spent this long when I was 5 years old playing this. Have you seen Buzz's reflection? And then look up. Up. Or down.
I'll give this game its credit. It's not the worst Disney game, it's definitely not the best game on the list, but it's by far the best Disney game, so for that, it gets my respect. It's fucking shit, don't play it. Okay, why have I never heard of Dragon's Blood before? This game is actually sick. I get to play a good game. Not more story text, no! Save me!
This is like Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, but worse.
Welcome to Selenarin.
Thank you.
I'm Anselm.
Welcome to Selenarin.
So many of these games put such crazy emphasis onto the backstory, but then they'll go and spoil all of the immersion by saying something like, after each mission you complete, you are able to improve your skills, completely showing you that it's a game. But that's the only bad thing I have to say about this game. Fucking look at it. Look at the trailing effects on the sword. Every time you slice one of these fucking rats in half, it feels so good. And it's got those like weird MMO hit splats and numbers coming up above them. Oh shit. It does struggle from that old game problem where it took me 3 hours to find a red bloke behind an odd building.
Captured the weakling elf by now? We must know the secret word. I have a word for you. Die.
Holy shit. There's a full level up system and plenty of spells to pick from. You gotta pick this one though, it kicks ass. Holy fuck. I genuinely can't believe I've never heard this game when anyone talks about the Dreamcast. This should be one of the top games people talk about. After this video, go and play Dragon's Blood, and leave a comment if you liked it or not.
I need the shiny.
Then we fight for shiny.
Just please, please, please be careful, because as always, there's no checkpoints in sight. This is legit. Oh my, no. This is an S tier game. I don't care what anyone says. This is good.
It's like Ed Sheeran and then the bit of cream that's like someone having a wank.
I'm trying to look at the intro to Dragon Riders, honey. I need to know what riding a dragon really means.
Oh my god. That is a chubby dragon, mate.
Two young men had been selected.
How many intros do we need for one game?
As the crowds gathered at the
Yeah, the crowds can gather around my cock. Shut up.
What?
My hide needs oiling. Should be nearby.
Wait, are you gonna oil the dragon?
This game is an insult to you, it's an insult to me, it's an insult to dragons. It's called Dragon Riders, and at no point in the entire game do you ride a dragon, and then I got softlocked. Fuck you.
My blood's all fired up. Do you want to spar for a while?
This game gets sort of by the skin of its teeth. It's just not worse than Chicken Run.
Pirates have hijacked a huge cruiser.
This is more my kind of game. I picked Eddie Brown and got right into it. I was faced with the task of pushing left, which I did. You get into this game and immediately you smash people's heads in with a deck chair. No exposition, no story, you just smash people's teeth in and get on with it.
Caution.
Oh. You retarded. Oh, baguette. Otherwise known as French roll. We couldn't figure out if the chef with exploding carrots was a pirate or not. Surely he would have been on the boat beforehand? I've got no clue. Huh?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? My major mistake when playing this game was that I picked up the anti-ship missile when clearly I should have picked up the anti-pirate missile. They fucking survived this. Is he a pirate too? If you want to play a game that's fun from minute 1 till the minute you complete the game, go and play this. This is a genuinely good game. I would definitely recommend it. From start to finish, it's about 20 minutes of fun. Anarchy does not rule, they lied. You might not believe me when I say this, but this car crash of a game is genuinely worse than Chicken Run. Entering from Pennsylvania, it's the Prodigy. And entering from... oh, there he is, here he is.
Top wrist lock.
They made a sequel? Chicken Run has been saved from slander. We've got a new last place. Now, I really get down with track and field games. The one on the SNES is really good. And I love playing the Olympics games with my friends. Well, I would if I had any. But I'm always on the lookout for these multiplayer games that you can play as a party. I was interested in if this could go into my rotation. This is one of very, very few times where the game actually tells me what buttons to press. I couldn't fucking believe it. Okay. Unfortunately, this is the only one I could figure out. My small pea brain can only figure out how to press 2 buttons alternatively. Alternatively? Why did I say it like that? Gold medal, look at that. Nice. Huh? What? What does it want from me? Huh? Javelin went no better. Unfortunately, this is not a good track and field game.
And humans had lived together.
Oh, it's a nice little dolphin game. Oh, no, wait, I'm playing the Dreamcast. Oh wait, no, this is a nice little dolphin game. Ah. Oh, no, I'm killing sharks. Ah, I'm fucking dead. Why is the whole game told to you in riddles? Now, I put more time into this game than any other game on the list. Namely because I forgot to record the first hour and a half, because I'm a bellend. But now I have some good perspective on this game at least. I feel like they completely went the wrong direction for this game. They put so much emphasis on the physics of jumping out of the water, swimming, and generally maneuvering Ecco around. I feel like this should be a fun, exploring game where you catch some fish, you do a few little puzzles, there's no stress. Listen to the soundtrack, it's so nice. But you spend 90% of this game headbutting sharks to death and trying not to get eaten at every possible corner. What the fuck is this? But it is still, despite all that, a good game.
Dear dolphin friend.
I did it! Yeah, if you think I'm playing this, you've lost your fucking mind.
Please subscribe to Kabagman. Oh yes, hit that little button.
Finally, I bring you one of the Dreamcast's greatest games, Sega's finest hour. That's right, welcome to European Super League. I know you've all been waiting for this one.
It's actually not losable. You've got Sergey.
Unfortunately, I f***ed up and picked Liverpool, so no Sergey for me. It was, in fact, losable. Round 2 with the Galacticos and I'd changed my mission. I just want to score one singular goal. Sadly, I had some control issues. Fuck off. No.
He's 2-0 down.
3-0, I think you mean. Yeah.
Apparently offside hadn't been invented either yet. Huh?
Have you scored?
No. I'd started to lose my temper. That's a fucking great challenge, ref! No!
Right, the green. That's not the green.
But eventually...
I'm through.
Yes! Come on! Not a fantastic game, but at least it was entertainment.
Evil Twin, Cyprian's Chronicle.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not beating around the bush. From now on, when a game is shit, I'm gonna tell you it's shit. And by God, this game is shit.
Press the shoot button to shoot. Cheers.
Just take a look at this. To use your flap, press jump in good time. Who the fuck translated this? To use your flap, press jump in good time. What the? View button for the death ray, a pretty lethal weapon. Look, I really gave this game a chance, but it's just bollocks. Not as bollocks as some games, mind you. The best part of this game was character select. Yeah. Oh, thrilling. Ah. Put it in F. Evolution is a turn-based RPG featuring manga high school graphics. This game is an insult to your time and patience. To make a turn-based strategy game, it's really got to be good. There's about 3 ever that have done it right. And by God, this is not one of them. I can kind of understand that maybe back in the day you were a kid and this was your favourite game, smacking a rat with a frying pan. But I will not be convinced that running through blank corridors is any kind of fun. For a game about exploration, there really is piss nothing to see. This game gets the privilege of being slightly better than Aqua GT. I thought to myself, God, please let the F tier be better than these games. And I was blessed because I was right.
Fighting Vipers 2.
I don't know how they got away with it, but in this game you can play as Jojo. Even his hair comes out the back of the hat. Round 1 I fought a bloke on a bike. He did some damage to me at first, but then... Holy fuck. It might not be to everyone's tastes, but the ring outs make up for all the problems this game has. Bah! Oh! Jane beat my ass. She even hit me with a ring out. No! I had so much fun playing this game. This is really good. I beat the final stage of arcade mode, tossing him out like a sack of spuds.
This guy was
Let's
pissed, though.
go!
Mate, you flicked him over the edge.
See ya, pussy. And engrave my name into history. Do yourself a favour and go and play this S+ tier game.
Fighting Force 2.
After having so much fun with Fighting Vipers 2, I thought I'll play Fighting Forces 2. And this is a classic example of a game that's got all the right ingredients but wasn't cooked enough. At one point I got stuck at this door and I really had no idea what to do. After trying to blow it up for 10 minutes, my friends chimed in with a great idea.
Maybe this isn't the way that you're supposed to go, perhaps.
I think if you keep hitting the door, it'll open.
After much backtracking, I finally found a chest, surely containing the key. Yeah, I did all of that for fucking 6 bullets, sick.
I think that's enough for this game.
You know what? I think you're right. It joins many great titles in the tier. Let me show you 2 games in which you race a Ferrari. This is F1 Championship. This is god-awful. This is F355 Challenge, and this is fantastic. I don't care that this is almost a direct port from an arcade game, it's still amazing. I haven't even got any jokes for you. If you like retro games, and you love racing games, and you love Ferraris, this is the game for you. The driving assists have a great feel to them. Only a handful of tracks, but hey, beggars can't be choosers at this point. Even the AIs have a brain, unlike me. I'm sticking it right up there with the big boys. So far only fighting games in S+. I'll forgive you for not knowing what Floyen Bros is, because frankly, who has? There's just no way you're picking this up off of the shelf even as a kid. Sonic Adventure has 32 stages. Floyen Bros has 1. They spent every development penny just on the animation.
Funnily enough, the animations are really good.
I've never seen such a shit game look so good. The mailbox is the first objective.
Hey, I want to get to the mailbox. Michael, help me get to the mailbox. Hey, I want to get to the mailbox.
After solving some nonsensical puzzles, you will eventually find the mailbox.
Not right now, maybe later.
What do you mean maybe later, you cunt? To open boxes, you must abuse Michael. Listen to this insult. Hey Michael, we're in the shittest game ever. Oh shit.
That's James at the pub now. Oh my god.
After an hour or two of playing, I got the ending. The one where Lenny mercilessly kills me. Episode 1 could imply that there could be Episode 2. I'd still rather play Essence of Speed. Freestyle Scooter. This game's weird. It's a Tony Hawk's clone with no substance and a pretty shit art style. And about 2 songs on repeat. But for some reason I really liked it. Everything handles so smoothly, the controls are so responsive. However, the second level really spices the game up. Notice this large chasm. That's fucking horrifying. If I played this as a kid, I never would have set foot on a scooter. Or at least not on a rooftop. What a horrifying sound.
Ooh.
Who built this 50,000 feet in the air? The floating platform of doom took up a lot of my time. My poor rider plummeted towards the earth quite a lot.
Oh, you stupid. No, you...
But eventually I got the job done.
Let's fucking
And what did I get for my efforts?
Oh, I can play as Daryl.
Crazy game finds itself in the crazy tier.
Evil Dad, hail to the king.
This can't be happening.
Uh-oh. I feel like this...
No, this isn't. It's not gonna be like Resident Evil. Evil Dead games are just like a slash and hack. Or a hack and slash. Oh, they actually did Resident Evil. That's diabolical.
Not again.
That's actually diabolical.
Some way, somehow, they did it again. I am yet again playing Resident Evil. This time with ghosts.
Oh, it's back? Okay.
They do, however, infinitely spawn, so I felt it was best to just walk past them.
Why does the zombie child have pistol rounds?
This is America, mate.
True.
Honest to God, they added a taunt button.
Come get some.
Would you like to guess where I ended up after I walked the entire length of the map? Yep, right back at the spawn. Let's take a look at the tier list so far. Most of the games are fighting games at the top. So far my diamond in the rough has been Dragon's Blood. I can't believe I've never had anyone talk about it. Zooming into the mid tiers, I think that Aero Wings was probably the standout. I do have a really soft spot for the Tony Hawk's clones though. Just something about these games makes them so replayable. I love them. It gets tough in the low tier to point stuff out. I think this is my favourite. It is a bit wild that this isn't the bottom tier of games though. Shout out to Floyen Bros for being the most bizarre game ever. Please leave a comment about how wrong I am. I didn't think it could be done, but the wrestling games are actually worse than Chicken Run. But the biggest insult to gaming has to be Dragon Riders. What a game. I've played a lot of games. We're about a quarter of the way through. From here up to S I have no experience. And when we do get to S, that's where the big games come in. I really hope I like Skies of Arcadia or I'm going to get crucified. People go crazy for this one. And I'm interested to play the first Soulcalibur. I've not tried it yet.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Holy fuck! If you're gonna open your game with a guy with a V12 machine gun, I'm hooked. The people who rated this game when it came out have lost their minds, man. It is good. This is what the Dreamcast's about. Some batshit crazy game you've never even heard of. I'm blowing people's heads off as bootleg Harley Quinn with a bazooka. I'd never heard of the Heavy Metal series before, so I wasn't familiar with any of the characters. I've seen this guy's face before though.
It's the Jonkler. Harley Quinn at home versus the Jonkler.
The Jonkler took no prisoners, let me tell you that. This was the first part in our game mode where I had some trouble. Mercilessly gunned me down.
Oh! The Bagman got done in by the Jonkler. Point of view, you live in Croydon.
At one point we both managed to run out of ammo and it turned into a fist fight. One criticism I will give this game is I think it really misses a ring out. If I could punch this prick off the side, it'd have been so much better. But that really is my only complaint. I love this game. They should make some more modern arena fighters. With the combination of a jetpack, a laser sword, and a rocket launcher, I was finally able to take down the Jonkler. After I sliced this bastard's head off, I moved on to another fight, but this proved to be my last. The duo of Cassie and Stab was just too powerful. If there's any good modern arena fighters, please let me know. I'd love to play a ranked online version of this. I'll do anything to not have to play with junglers anymore. I'm going to stick this game in the A tier. Gauntlet Legends. The next game is always a mystery. Could be this. Could just be Resident Evil again. Or if you're really unlucky, this is a bit like if Dungeons and Dragons met Castle Crashers. I fancied shooting some fireballs, so I picked myself the wizard, but unfortunately he only knew Magic Punch. I won't go too hard on this game because it's definitely meant to be played with multiple people. I can't do this game the justice it deserves by myself. There's only so many heads I can smash in before it gets boring on my own. If anyone's played this game with a full team with a knight, an archer, a priest and a mage, please let me know if it was good. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and put it in the crazy tier. What the fuck is going on? Bullet hell is not for me. Headhunter is an action RPG that's either really hard, or maybe I'm just really bad.
What?
Wait, this is like Halo 1.
Halo? Yeah.
Exactly like Assassin's Creed.
Did he have to do the role?
Against the unarmed guard. Wait, this is Halo 1.
Oh, this is peak Bagman gaming.
I wish he were good at games sometimes. I think he's having enough trouble with the first enemies as it is.
Why is the default exit?
Because it knows you should stop playing.
This is one of those games where the story is absolute bollocks, so we decided to just be confused and skip ahead.
Guys, what? Why is he just GG? Why is he just GG?
Is the same thing gonna happen again while I'm in the hospital?
Holy fuck, it's like Metal Gear Solid.
It was a brave choice to use live action and animation in the same shot.
Very lifelike.
Oh, okay.
How the fuck did you get here?
This is GTA, this is Vice City.
There's some interesting stuff you haven't looked at.
You skipped too much, man.
This is exactly how James walks around the house. There's fucking jeans and moccasins on.
I don't have moccasins, mate. I walk barefoot. A barefoot jeans, no shirt on.
You're fucking wrong, man.
After playing Cluedo around the villa, it was finally time for some more action.
Holy fuck.
Oh, I'm on a bike, mate.
Turns on a dime.
It wouldn't be a Bagman game without some shit driving.
This game's really weird. It's like they tried to make Cool Guy Simulator. It's not terrible, but it's going in
That's me.
James, do you notice that the zombies are wearing fucking jeans with no top on and no shoes?
The House of the Dead 2.
Hope you guys have got some pound coins.
I don't usually like arcade shooters, but House of the Dead 2 isn't really an arcade shooter. The shooting is something you do in between listening to the voice lines.
This is the best voiceover right here.
I don't want to die. My God.
Help him. Okay.
There's no animation or delay for reload, so the best strategy is to give yourself carpal tunnel by spamming both buttons at the same time. Unfortunately, you lose a life every time you shoot a civilian or a non-zombie, which sometimes happened.
Oh shit.
Fucking moron.
Don't help him. Don't help him. You get a better side area. Because he opens up this door for you.
How could anyone do this?
He fucking did it himself.
Even though I had the difficulty set to very easy, this game isn't easy. But to be fair, the zombies weren't the problem. It was me.
Oh shit!
You executed
a
her.
fucking headshot.
How could anyone do this?
Great.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's a bit rough around the edges, but this game's charming enough to be fun. I really like the ending details like this too. I'm gonna whack it in the A tier. Quiz. Can you guess the Dreamcast track with the instrument removed? 3, 2, 1, go! Let me direct your attention to the F tier quickly. It may seem that all boat games are terrible, however, there is one. I've never played Hydro Thunder, but it's easily one of my favourite games now on the Dreamcast. There's no tutorial, no intro, no story, no scrolling wall of text, just fun from the start. You go around the world in high-powered jet boats, doing some crazy shit. Even the pirate ship gets in on it. Holy. I really like the inclusion of the tour boat that goes 250 miles an hour. Each stage has a different boat that comes with you. And they're great, all except for this fucker. Who knew the Greek Coast Guard was such menaces? All of the tracks have their own learning curve. The replayability comes from the difficulty. It might say easy, but they don't mean it. In the medium tracks, you have to finish in the top 2 to advance. And that was no easy feat.
Fuck off, you cunt! You cunt.
You have to hit 99% of the boost pads, or you won't even stand a chance of finishing in the top 5. You'll play each race a few times just trying to locate them all before you can seriously consider a win. Heaven forbid you even miss a mini one, you'll be fucked. It is rewarding to master each track and figure everything out, but it is brutally hard sometimes. You never know if you've done enough on the Greek race until right at the end when you fly past everyone at the finish line. And sometimes this big boat bastard f***s your entire plan.
No, I'm fucking tired. No! No! Go! No, it's this fucking purple cunt shit just in front of me every fucking time. Oh! Holy shit, no, I fucking skipped the second place. I got the first.
Incoming! If you've ever wanted to play an aggressively boring, but actually not quite bad, tower defense game, I've got the game for you. Incoming handles really well, but they made it so boring. I don't know how they did it. It's just nothing. At least there's plenty of aim and break.
Incoming! Wait, he said the title.
The cinematic camera was interesting. Finds itself in the boring tier. Iron Aces! Now by this point I'm a bit of an expert at Dreamcast aviation. I played Aero Wings, Aero Wings 2, Deadly Skies, but Iron Aces has to take the cake as the fucking worst. None of the simulation or insults to Aero Wings, but none of the flair of Deadly Skies either. The only thing it had going for it was this teeny tiny trick up its sleeve.
Oh, it's a kill count. Oh, okay.
COD 4's got nothing on this. It was so thrilling, this was our conversation.
Now, would you have a pet chicken?
I would have a pet chicken. That'd be clean.
I have a pet chicken. It's called James. Maybe you need to fly into it.
He was wrong, and this game sucks. Jeremy Supercross had some issues, shall we say. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but the thing I love more is JoJo's Venture. I was really looking forward to play this game, and I just can't lie to you, this is mediocre at best. It has so much potential, but it just looks and feels like an NES game. This doesn't come close to any of the Capcom fighters that I've played thus far. The references, roster, and stages are all amazing, but it just sucks! There's only one JoJo game on the Dreamcast, and it's the second best game with Jotaro in it. The stand mechanic is really good, and could be super interesting, but when you break someone's stand, it just comes back instantly. There's very little punishment for using it, and not many reasons to not use it. And I'm all for fighting games trying something new, but removing blocking altogether is a bizarre choice. Oh fuck, what's happening? I wish this was good. It pains me to put it here. Kao the Kangaroo. Believe it or not, this is a Polish game. Somewhere in Krakow they decided that they must need Crash Bandicoot, but he's a kangaroo and he's wearing boxing gloves. We're on a bit of a dry streak with these games, aren't we? Nothing's jumped out at me for a long time. I bet none of you had any idea that a Switch game for this came out just a few months ago. There's just no way you've heard of this franchise.
That's a sinister looking mushroom.
I thought it was a kid's game, but the death animations are kind of...
Wait, that's diabolical.
Oh my god. No, there ain't that many levels. No, there is...
What is that final one? Is it just a man with a shotgun?
From the start with... Who did they make this game for? I don't get it. It's too frustrating to be like a kid's game, but like, who's picking this up off the shelf? The hardest part of this game was getting on the bastard glider. Somehow they made it like it's on ice in the air. Nothing about this thing works. Nothing. And if you're unfortunate enough to run out of lives... No, you can't make me start the whole game over again. It can't. There's just
Surely.
There's not a chance. There's not a chance. That's how. No. What? Test drive Limon. Forget about the gameplay. Listen to the music, man. But back to the gameplay. There's nothing to write home about. This is a box standard racer. I hear that Metropolis Street Racer is the best driving game on the Dreamcast, but it needs to be a damn sight better than this. For a game whose namesake is Le Mans, I don't think they did Le Mans very well, which is a big problem. And there's a puny selection of cars too. Fucking nice music though. I love this game, but I can't tell you about it because James kinda took control for this one. I feel like a prick calling this guy Foghorn Leghorn.
I say you're pissing too darn loud, boy. It's late at night and you're pissing right in the center of the bowl, like a fried chicken in there. You're gonna piss on the side, boy. Make it a stealth mission.
You might not believe me if I told you that this is one of the games I've played most during this series, but I love it. It came out on the Dreamcast and the PS2. Some people prefer the Dreamcast port. The menus were really thoughtfully animated on the Dreamcast port compared to the PS2. But the soundtrack doesn't compare. Listen to this. Rest in peace, Mel Blanc. This game wouldn't be half as good without his voices.
A man's got the blicky. He's got the blicky tongue.
Yeah, man's got the blicky.
I say, I have been known to be partial to killing an ox, boy.
It might just be a kart racer, but there's so much time and care put into all of the animations, characters and staging. People cared when they made this game. Look at this little detail. I love gallery features like this too.
That's some dexterous action you got there.
Oh shit, you're playing Legacy of Kain. Alright, it's about to get real.
Why does he look like he's been mewing for fucking 500 years?
My lord, have you been looksmexing?
Some years.
Legacy of Kain is a brutally cryptic third-person adventure game. I spent the entirety of my first play session just trying to maneuver around the starting area. There is absolutely nothing in the way of instruction. I wouldn't say the bare minimum is explained, but you can wave dash. The core gameplay mechanic revolves around switching between the light and the dark realm, which took me all too long to figure out. Be careful not to fall into this water, it will really inconveniently put you back in the shadow realm. I absolutely adore the sound and setting of this game. It's designed perfectly. One massive problem I did run into is that the game doesn't tell you any buttons to press, which is a really big issue when you're trying to swap realms. Oh.
Thank Christ!
Yeah, you're in the wrong realm.
So you know what's funny though is so I pressed A to use it, but you had to press X to use it. But after I'd figured that out, I was unstoppable. It was plain sailing from there on out. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I did like the combat mechanics. Essentially, you have to kill your enemies and then finish them off with light or fire. Hitting the fire does help. Once you've done that, you can then suck out their soul to regain your HP, which slowly drains. Once you acquire the stabby stick, the game becomes a lot easier too. The game has a bizarre sense of scale. There doesn't seem to be any levels, you just continuously go.
What the fuck?
The game really shines when you're exploring or fighting enemies, but the puzzles, I'm not so sure. I had to recruit 3 of my friends just to get through some of the most basic first puzzles.
And again. You need to kill him and then suck his soul out.
It did take me and the boys a grand total of about 3 hours to get to the first boss.
Right, no, but it has to be in the proper, like, orientation. That's the thing.
Puzzles just being 1% more clear would make this game so much more enjoyable. Just get me to the boss, please.
What if no? That's gonna spawn the boss.
After an eternity, I did make it to the boss, and I won't spoil it for you. If you like the look of this game or like the atmosphere or just want to be a vampire, give it a go. I'm gonna put it in the A tier, it just creeps in. Magforce is like a game that if you wanted to play air hockey but also wanted it to be F-Zero, this is what it would be. Unfortunately, it has about 2% of the fun of F-Zero. The weapons do a whole lot of nothing, and the tracks are pretty bland. And for the Dreamcast, it usually makes up on its soundtrack, but this is nothing to write home about either. You know what, it feels like a bit of a tech demo. There's no actual substance to the game, but it runs and performs and drives amazingly. Just don't get stuck in this loop. Mr. Driller! Mr. Driller is just Tetris with a drill. I think I remember my nan playing this. It's a little bit like Choo Choo Rocket. It's a fun little minigame, but there's not a whole lot to do. Just don't get crushed by the falling blocks. I'll whack it in F. MTV Skateboarding is where things got really weird. I thought it'd be a Tony Hawk's clone. But it's whatever this is. Ninja woman riding on a spring ball? I really don't know what's going on here. It was good enough, but just not what I was expecting, you know. Don't know. What boring, I guess?
It's really powerful, especially against living things.
Would you believe me that this game had 4 cutscenes before the game starts? Everyone gets killed by Russian Gorilla Man. And then you must pick up the shiny sword to take him down. I was really expecting another lackluster JRPG, but I was pleasantly surprised. I don't want to say every game is like something else, but this is like Red Steel. It's interesting to see where these newer games got all their inspiration from. I had a good amount of fun with this one. It did become apparent though that the Dreamcast really needs 2 sticks. You can't see what enemies are above you before you go up the stairs. Especially when the enemies at the top of the stairs have rocket launchers. After my 15th death, I decided to run past most of the enemies. I can't say I'm probably going to revisit this game, but it was fun while it lasted. I ran around and chopped some people up, and had my fun. I'll stick it in the tidy tier. MDK2 is another reminder to not skip too many cutscenes, otherwise this will happen. Immediately I faced one ginormous problem. The Dreamcast has no right directional stick, so half of the game is played on the left hand side of the controller, and half of the movement is played on the right hand side of the controller. Using A, B, Y, and X to maneuver left, right, forward, and back is extremely disorienting. Especially when you consider that you need to aim with the left stick, jump with the left trigger, and then fire with the right stick. You're pressing so many buttons at once, it's incredibly confusing. I'm going to have to check out some speedruns of this game afterwards though, because I imagine it has an incredibly high skill ceiling. The movement options are great. The weapon variety is pretty large, and the lock-on system is really intuitive. But despite all of this, the game is just painfully annoying. I could fully understand that maybe I'm just bad. I'm really good. But this game really just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm gonna whack it in, Metropolis Street Racer is one of my dad's favourite games on the system, and it suddenly clicked. The Kudos system is actually a system from Project Gotham Racing, so this must be the predecessor to those games. Even though I never played this game as a kid, it's got a really nostalgic feeling. At the start you're given the choice of two cars. I've already owned a really rusty MX-5, so I'm going to go with the Fiat this time. The game's made out of 3 major cities. There's so many different configurations, it's a really clever way of getting in a lot of circuits without too much work. This is a decent racing game. I like there's little options so that you can have the hood up or down. The graphics are pretty crispy. And the shadows work pretty good, which is rare. I think this game really shines on the nighttime maps, they're so much better. But I just can't shake the feeling that it's not as good as F355 Challenge. I think I played that game too early. Every racer now has to live up to that, and it's a pretty tall order. I do have to give this game a great thanks though. It's the godfather to the PGR series, and I really missed that one. I hope they bring that back. Not to mention a great soundtrack, a very extensive career mode, and a good selection of cars. All in all, it's a good game. If you want a street racing game with a real old school vibe, but still pretty good, this is the one. I'll chuck it in with the mid tiers. Jet Set Radio is a funky, innovative, super refreshing game with an unbeatable soundtrack and amazing graphics. But it has one problem. The game when you're skating and doing sick tricks is so much fun. Rollerblading around Japan with amazing music in the background. It's just pure fun in a game. And then you stop and have to spray paint and click buttons and remove all of the speed and thrills. It's so disappointing because so much of this game is fun. You get chased by police and this rogue vigilante police officer with a gun tries to gat you down for doing some street art. And then you have to slowly climb stairs and hop over tiny little obstacles, and it just doesn't make sense. I thought this game would be all about going fast and doing cool tricks, but it seems to be more about navigating through really small places and pressing up and left and right on the D-pad. Can't understand it. The fun part of this game is so fun, but that's not the game. The reboot seems to hone in on that, so I'm really looking forward to those. Look at this. I'm gonna have to put it in mid-tier, I'm so sorry. Please don't kill me. We're officially midway, we've hit M. We're making some good traction. Let's take a quick look at the tier list. Up in S, our new addition is Hydro Thunder. Easily one of my favourite games on the console now. We've still got F355 Challenge as the top racing game. I've added a tier in the middle called Pure Frosting. This is the games that are pure fun, easy to just pick up and play, and the name of a great album. I've also added mid-tiers into the Resi clones. MSR stands there now. This is the bare minimum to be good for me. I've also got Headhunter as my favourite game from And my least favourite still is Dragon Riders. No surprise there. This game sucks balls. The S category is where it gets real. This might be a video just in and of itself. Look at all these amazing games. We've got Shenmue, Sonic Adventure 2, Sega Bass Fishing, Sega Rally, Star Wars Demolition, Soulcalibur, Space Channel 5, Third Strike, are you kidding me? Then we've got Skies of Arcadia. I'm so scared for this game. I'm going to apologise to my American viewers. I don't know squat about football. But I do know about the 72 Dolphins, so I had to pick those. I seriously can't explain to you how little I know about American football. And it's kind of disappointing because I think this game would be fun if I did. What the fuck? I'm going to give this game credit. If you want to play an old school NFL game, play this one. I love the crunchy sound effects as you get smashed to the floor. Tackles were very satisfying. I like that it lets you jump on top of people after the ball's been out. Here's what a touchdown looks like if you wanted to see. I'm going to be very generous and put it in the pure frosting tier. I think this is fun.
The Nomad Soul.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to break down what I think this game is about. A man comes through a portal and talks to the player. The player is someone
I have very
in
little time.
space.
Here's 16 paragraphs.
You decide to follow the man back through the portal to do something. Once you do that, the man gets attacked by some kind of alien, gets his soul drained, and then the player becomes the man.
Holy shit, it's a hot female.
Then you walk around a dystopian landscape, looking for clues as to who you might be. In 10 FPS, no less. Also, check out the mirrors. After a bit of digging around, you find his apartment. Then you get flashbacks, get beat up by a hologram,
what's up?
and then shag the bloke's wife. Oh, and of course then you take a piss. If you weren't confused enough already, just know that this game has an original soundtrack made by David Bowie. Huh? This game is strangely fun. I don't know what it is about it, but maybe it's the world building, maybe it's the music, maybe it's the character, maybe it's the general confusion of what's going on. But I found myself just wanting to play more. And I haven't felt that for a game on the Dreamcast in a while, especially not an RPG. I might sit and complete this whole game and then make a full-length video about it. It's truly bizarre. I played a good amount, but there's still more to see. Phantasy Star Online didn't work. From the pure intrigue of the last game, somehow we've got onto Pen Pen. This game is a headache in a cartridge. What in the actual fuck is this game?
This isn't a real game.
Why does the ice cream lady have such big tits? I thought this was a kid's game. I think this is a racing game? Maybe? Stroke isn't the controls, it's what you're gonna have after playing 5 minutes of this game. I think by the time this video is done, this will be the strangest game I've played, and I've got Seaman to play. I just can't fathom that someone made this game. A team of people, real people. Look at this little cunt. After the race is done, you go to bed? Look at the state of this thing.
Look at the state.
You can pinpoint exactly when I lost my mind.
Get me out!
It's kind of like...
Get me out!
I'm keeping this game far away. It's going in the corner by itself. Planet Ring is another game that didn't work. There's a surprising amount of games on the Dreamcast that require internet connection or they just can't play. If you thought online-only games were a problem, it's been a problem for a while. Okay.
Oh.
Generally, it's a really good sign when you see the Capcom logo pop up. And this game was no exception. Funny thing about this game is it's got insane amounts of Star Wars reference. We fight the Empire.
Wait.
There's a dude with a lightsaber. There's the Cantina Bandman. And for some god unknown reason, I decided to pick the character that sounds like this. All of that aside, I'm pretty impressed with this game. I really like the supers. If you hit someone with this move, it teleports them to a realm. Every character's got a different one too. My favourite character in the game so far is Ellie. Even knowing no combos or anything like that, I can still hit a massive combo. This character is sick, actually. The thing with fighting games is that they've all got their own twist. And a lot of the time, how good the game is comes down to how well they do that twist. Mortal Kombat has fatalities. Fighting Vipers has an armor system. Soulcalibur has ring outs. And this is genuinely up there with some of the best fighting games I've played so far. There does seem to be a recurring theme that all fighting games are generally pretty good on the Dreamcast. Unfortunately, that couldn't be said for all of them. Safely into the A tier. Regina, Carlo, Might, Patty, Satsuma, Gundeath.
Gundeath.
It has to be Gundeath. So I don't know whose idea it was to make a very slow floating fighter.
Why are we flying?
In a box. I have to assume this is some sort of adaptation. This can't be an original concept. Like, we slowly float around and shoot a couple of balls at each other every now and then. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a punch. The keen-eyed among you will realise that it's actually Gudeth, not Gundeth. I'm not going to be too nice to this one. I'm going to stick it in bad. Then I had to play pinball, which was, yeah, it was about as exciting as you thought it might be. Yep, it's pinball. Do I need to explain myself? It's pinball. Can you do a sick Project Justice?
Project Justice.
Project Justice.
Holy
Wait,
Jesus.
wait, that's my main.
No. I didn't click this.
I love that it's lady with two blokes.
Capcom coming in once again to save the day. This is a high school tag fighting game, which sounds a bit weeby on paper, but translates pretty well to a fun game. I accidentally picked the volleyball woman who can summon two big blokes.
Oh, team up. Wait.
This is just another Capcom masterclass. You could play just the fighting games on the Dreamcast and have a good time. I do think the characters seem to carry a lot of these games. Not that the games are bad, but the characters are so good. This guy's got a giant barrel around him. As a belt.
Ah!
The special team attacks are interesting.
Edge.
Oh,
Wait,
I just smurfed.
Whoa. Wait.
Oh shit.
Man, you just hair uppercutted it.
Not only that, you can play as normal middle-aged bloke. But we saved the best for last. You can play as the Swimming Man, who has various water-based attacks. Another day, another top-tier Capcom game. Good job, guys.
Welcome to Power Stone War.
Okay boys, strap yourself in. Last but not least, we have got the original Power Stone. I always played a lot of Power Stone 2 as a kid, but I don't really remember playing Power Stone 1 all that much. I've always liked the characters in this game, and trust me, I got plenty of time to test them all out. I think that English really adds to the charm of this game. Now, as I'm talking to you, I've just finished playing. This is the last game, and it's the last one to edit, and I'm pretty excited to release the video. But let me tell you that I'm anything but happy right now. I am so pissed off. I've played this game for so long. You think, the first fight must have been easy. You kicked his ass. And you'd be right. But as soon as you arrive to Londo, things change. This was my first hurdle. I got mercilessly beat down by Falcon. Oh. I had some trouble fighting this guy. And I should have been grateful for the difficulty of this fight, because compared to the stuff that's coming later, it was easy. But hey, I was just finding my feet. I mean, I may have used the entire roster to go through the second fight, but that's fine.
Just fucking throwing plant pots at me! Fucking...
Eventually I picked Jack, who I thought was going to be a super hidden OP character. I breezed through the next few fights. I had a bit of trouble with Saluda, especially after he did this to me.
Oh.
But it's fine, no problem. There's plenty more characters, there's got to be another good. So I picked Rogue, and I did alright. Set this motherfucker on fire.
Fuck you.
Okay though, we're finally at the boss. We're on the pirate ship, let's get it done.
Come on.
It took me a good few tries. But with Rogue, Fire, and a little help from the pirate ship, I finally managed to take down Kraken and beat the game. What a relief.
There's more.
If any of you played Mortal Kombat 9, you know where you gotta fight Shao Kahn, and he's just faster, stronger, takes less damage, does more damage. This is the exact same thing, and it is torture.
How long have you been on this game?
51 minutes. It's so fucked. It's lost. Yeah, because his one-shots me. Nice one.
No matter what character I picked, no matter what strategy I deployed, I could not beat this goddamn big bastard. I know that a lot of people that watch this video will know exactly what to do. I know that one of you guys watching this knows what to do. Please comment what it is, and I will take this bastard down. Power Stone 2 is a true sequel. It's got more characters, better stages, and greater music. I reckon the stages are the standout. Instead of fighting on the streets of Londo, you're on an airship instead. And this introduces the possibility of ring-outs. Every stage is dynamic and has at least 2 or 3 transformations. In a strange way, the second Power Stone feels like a party game, whereas the first one almost felt kind of competitive. And that's a good thing. This is a game meant for fun. One thing they did right was tone down the power-ups. You know, I might be running them over on a giant motorbike spike, but it doesn't guarantee the round win. I love the interactive level selects too. What I don't love, however, is fighting this big bastard with an AI teammate. A little bit of teamwork goes a long way. They find so much more joy in kicking me in the fucking head. This guy, Wang Tang, is a complete bellend. After the first defeat, I'd managed to whack him with my brolly. Switching from a 2-player format to a 4-player format, and going to last man standing is really what made this game good. Make sure to choose your allegiances wisely though, because whoever wins with you will come into the next stage. And fuck me, by the time you get to the last stage you're gonna need some help. I genuinely don't know how this is possible. You've got to fight your way through toy soldiers with big mallets, and painfully watch as your teammate runs into giant spikes. And eventually you'll make it to the boss. Ugh. Mate, I didn't even come close. Nevertheless, it's definitely one of the best games on the Dreamcast. After playing the wrestling games, I was a little bit concerned, but Ready to Rumble Boxing is pretty good. It's got some quirky characters and a funny rumble system, and it controls quite nicely. My favourite part is the referee though.
1, 2.
Oh, fucking hell.
1, 2.
There's even a first person mode, which is amusing. It does make the game a little trickier though.
1, 2.
You can do their perspective.
1, 2.
I assumed the women would fight against each other, but I was wrong, and on paper this sounds like a horrendous mismatch. But Lulu Valentine does not fuck around, mate. Despite appearances. The arcade mode is a bit of a standard gauntlet, a bit like Soulcalibur. The game doesn't hold back either. I lost on round 1 a fair few times, but eventually I got my rhythm.
1, 2.
I think she might have been quite excited to win. I was on a roll. Lulu Valentine could not be stopped. But eventually, it all came crashing down. Punches its way above B tier. The second game was more of the same, except that they nerfed my main character. At least the ref's back. The next game was highlighted to me by a viewer. But based on their recommendation, I gave this game a bit more special attention. It kind of plays a little bit like an old Diablo game. And my character looks more of a clay model than he does of a man. It's got an extremely detailed stats and leveling system too. I really took my time with the tutorials. I planned on playing this for quite a while. After the training, I was once again ready to meet up with Wise Master Ward. After this one last tutorial room, it's ready for the full game. Oh my fucking Christ. What?
Mate, you've been gangbanged.
Excuse me? I wish the comment warned me to save. I can only put it here due to frustration. Now onto a game that's not frustrating, but is just absolutely bollocks. There's this. I don't even remember the name of it. Do you? Has anyone ever played this? It was wank. But let's forget about that. Let the nostalgia soak in.
Enjoy your fishing. Select the lure.
Sega Bass Fishing is better than I remember it being. It really does a good blend between needing the patience of waiting for fish, picking out the right spots, while still being fun as an arcade game.
Oh, it's fucking big. Look at that.
One big problem I ran into though is this was really meant to be played with the Dreamcast fishing rod. My clumsy little controller was not quite cutting it. Try and keep track of how many times I say, "Look at the size of him!"
Come on, you big bastard fucking prick. Size of it. Ah! Oh god, look at the size of it! Oh, it's fucking huge!
Turn the rod left, mate.
Oh, look at it! Look at him! Oh.
This one's huge.
Go on.
Fucking.
Mate, your line's 2/10.
Ah.
It's gonna fucking break.
Ah. I can't fucking. Ah.
Fish, man, fish!
Look at the size of him! Go on. Go on in. Oh, look at the size of it!
He's fucking. He's a big one.
He's like my willy.
Let it be known, this game is not easy either. Big fish put up a big fight.
You're running out of time, mate.
No.
You're running out of time, mate.
No!
3!
8 kilos. Line break. Heartbreak.
Catch a super bass, mate. You ready?
Isn't that a Nicki Minaj song?
The music did not need to be this terrifying. Point of view as a lure is quite scary when you can't see what's beneath.
Left.
Tire it out, tire it out. Reel it in.
Here we go. Oh! Look at the size of it! Oh!
That's 10. That's 10.
Oh, it wasn't even 7.
Rank in.
Go, ladies and gents, that was Sega Bass Fishing.
It fucking mint.
Game over.
Safely lands itself in S tier. You know when this is the intro to your game that it's going to be some crazy Dreamcast shit. Rez to me is an on-rails music shooter. You really only control the stick and press B. You could argue that it's more of an experience than it is a game. All of the music is dictated by your shots. So you select the rhythm and the tempo, and the music directly correlates to how well you're doing. I can't really describe this game. It's one you need to go play for yourself for sure. But it is great. Safely S tier. Now you may only notice there's one racing game in S tier, and that's for good reason. Because most of the racing games are bollocks Formula 1 games that look like this. I always pick Suzuka so that I can compare the turn 1 corner to real life. And this might be the worst one yet. Fun fact, there's an online version of this game. Oh shit, they got licensed cars. Oh. Never mind. Dreamcast classic. Absolutely terrible game. Absolutely amazing music. See, before I started this series, I thought that Sega GT was a massive Dreamcast game. Like something that could really rival Gran Turismo. But at first glance, it kinda does. The graphics are a step up, and the dealership has the best 3 cars in the world up for sale at the start of the game. Naturally, I went with the beat, and I hopped straight into a race, where I was slightly underwhelmed. But you're just in a slow car, I hear you say. But the fast racing wasn't that much better either. It's like really slow air hockey. It just doesn't feel quite right. Too floaty. There was an incredibly surprising build your own engine mode though. But that's about it. Good concept, poor execution, boring. Switching over to something that's the complete opposite of boring.
Hiala.
Is that typical Swedish?
Yeah, hiala.
What's up, man?
Mate, I think I found a hidden gem. Straight away your mind's gonna jump to something like SSX. But it's way more than that. They didn't just simply stop around at snowboarding, they went all out.
Here. Your boy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Halfway through the race you get on a fucking glider. Oh my fucking
Nah, you're getting on a quad.
No, this game is sick.
Cabbage boy, look.
It's me. If you don't think riding a quad bike and then getting on a glider is fun, I don't know what to tell you.
Wonder how it takes off, because it kind of just
it's
flies.
attached to a plane. Oh.
Game over.
Mate, it's a good thing I didn't game over 1 second later. I just dropped him at the edge of a fucking cliff.
Just dead down the cliff.
It's a high tier game for me. Sega Marine Fishing is Sega Bass Fishing, except after 3 lines of gear. No longer are we pottering around some lakes. We're after some big ass marlins in the sea. Forget being excited for an 8 kilo bass, we've got 80 kilo tarpons to catch. But it can slow down and relax too. This could be the best song on the system. I've never seen the Amen break used so peacefully. But don't get too comfortable because it doesn't last for long. Equip your hot red flaming lure. Let's get a sailfish. Don't let your guard down though. This game might look charming, but it bites back if you're not careful. But there's no better feeling when you finally reel in an absolute monster. I really enjoy how each weight size of fish has its own fight song too. So appropriate.
Let's try next field. Hideaway.
Now you know some real shit's going down. No list of fish to see. Could be anything in there. And all of your lures have turned jet black. Creates a crazy atmosphere of final boss fish. You've got one shot at the big one.
Incredible! Wow, this is good.
115 kilos is 3rd place? That's just arcade mode though. There's a whole other original mode with free fishing. Your goal here is to collect all of the items by catching different fish. from characters to cosmetics and lures. And there's a bonus stage which I've got a story about.
Fishing port.
I played this game with my granddad a lot when I was young, and we did everything in this game. We 99%'d it. But no matter what we tried, we just couldn't catch the coelacanth. Just one fish. It's haunted me for years and years. Look at it, there it is. A while ago I went over to his house and dusted off the Dreamcast. Turns out this whole time we just needed a specific lure. It was an amazing moment. 20 years after the fact, I finally managed to get a coelacanth on the line. And I remember when we finally caught it. Oh, I've got fucking coelacanth in my fish tank. That's fucking mint. All of the fish you catch get added to your own private aquarium. There he goes. It's S+ tier for me. I've never played a better fishing game than this. What on earth could I possibly tell you that hasn't already been said about Sonic Adventure? I'm sure you've heard that this thing is absolutely terrifying. I'm going to make a bold claim. I think this is one of the top 3 game intros of all time. If you know, you know. Something interesting to note is that I've never played a game where it starts with a boss battle. Your very first movements in this game are against a boss. I've come to the conclusion that I think Sonic Adventure 1 is what the Dreamcast is, and Sonic Adventure 2 is what the Dreamcast could have been. But past all of that, this moment is the Dreamcast moment. This orca chase is by far the most iconic. The linear levels are very open. You could go up the springs the normal way, or you could go up like this. I could ramble on about how great the level design is, how great the music is, but one thing I want to do most of all is show you the small details that I think really make the game come to life. Instead of walking up the train and pressing a button, you get in. You have to physically get in and it takes you away. These small details make it so much more immersive than hold E to pick the lock. The evening sky looks fantastic, adds a really great atmosphere. This happens after a few levels. When you're climbing out of the garbage in Casinopolis, Sonic gets into the shower and cleans off. Such a small funny detail they could have got away with not adding. There's a funny bit of dialogue here about a mother with a gambling problem. You can even talk to the son about it. The train station's closed so that you only go to certain areas of the game, and this is explained through a train strike. And if you go around the town talking to all of the residents, you can see how it affects them all. Sonic Adventure 1 does free roam in a really interesting way. Whilst the map isn't ginormous, it gives the feeling of being big by letting you go to everything that you can see. There's no way you can't get to. I appreciate that even walking to places is interactive. The variety in levels is fantastic as well. You can go go-karting in space, or run down the side of a skyscraper. There's so many changes of pace in this game. You see Angel Island over there? You can go there. You can physically run up and touch the Master Emerald. I don't think you can do that in any other Sonic game. It feels sacred. You see that giant flying spaceship in the sky? You can go there too. Not only that, the way that you get there is one of the best levels in the game. It's up to you, not a cutscene. And when you do get there, you learn that this is an entirely new free roam section. If you do a bit of snooping around, you'll find Eggman's private pool. And from what I know, besides one emblem, there's no purpose to this room. It's just here for fun. This is a strange personal anecdote of mine, but from this game, my favourite part is when you see the egg base from the mountainside. Something about the lights flashing just really gives you a grand scale of things. It's another clever trick this game uses to make it feel like an adventure. Now on to the bad parts. I really came into this game thinking, wow, I used to love playing as Big the Cat. But I must have been a fucking dickhead kid. This is the worst. I don't mean like a little bit bad. This is god awful. When you first catch a fish, it will just hook onto the bait, no problem. You don't have to do anything. There's no controls, no inputs, it's fine. you just reel it in. But then, without the game telling you, this bastard dickhead frog will not go on no matter what. I had to Google it to figure out that you need to wiggle the lure left and right as he gets on. If I'm having to Google the first level, surely something's wrong. I went into this with good expectations. I really did. I wanted to like this. I love fishing parts in games. From this game on, I'm going to revamp the tier list. It's going to run a recommendation type scale. And Sonic Adventure is a game that you must play. Despite its flaws, Sonic Adventure is the game for the Dreamcast. You have to go and play it. There's no game that quite encapsulates the Dreamcast like it. Speaking of which...
Yokosuka.
Not Yoko Soko.
No.
Now, if you've watched any of the previous parts of these videos, you'll know that I'm an avid JRPG hater. I really hate games that take ages to get into it. I hate games that waste my time. I hate games with convoluted storylines. So you'll be shocked to hear that I love this game. It's absolutely brimming with life. They somehow made a game about doing not a lot of fun. I was really hesitant going in, but I'm glad I've put up with it, because this game's fantastic. Every single detail is mapped out. There's an animation for picking the phone up off of the phone handle. So much care went into everything in this game. Grape? I'm not a big fan of grape. Wait, maybe it's a cola. Oh. I can relate as a coffee addict.
Ah, good. Maybe just one.
I'm just gonna go broke.
What did I get?
Huh?
My favorite Sonic character.
Oh god, you should.
I just got scammed. I should try this again.
Way.
Show me that way.
The whole first act of this game is you going around the village and asking people if they know about two men in black suits. If you don't get lucky, you can end up asking everyone. Cat.
That's a good cat.
Hey, the other day, did you see two black men? Oh, I know there are two men in black two men in black suits.
Maybe just one.
What could go wrong?
Wait, I got Sonic.
Holy.
Nah, that's actually worse.
I know this.
Even on the little mini games you can play in the arcade, there's so much attention. Camera pans, 50 different animations for punching. They make the mundane so exciting. Even running home at night is fun. Makes you feel rebellious, like you're out too late. Then once you reach this city, the game springs into life. Instead of just a handful of characters, you're launched into a brand new world. There's so much adventure crammed into these small streets. I can't particularly put my finger on one thing that makes this game great. It could be the humor, how every character sounds like they've smoked a massive spliff.
The rain, right? That's right. It was really chilly, so I raised the a car? A black car?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Wait, what is this guy?
Tom.
Tom?
What the fuck is that?
I heard about your father. I'm sorry.
It could be the music? Hold on, before you carry on, can we just appreciate why this music is so loud that I can't actually hear anything else?
Did you see a black car?
Jokes aside, it really is incredible. Every shop and building you enter provokes a new feeling. This is easily the best day-night cycle I've seen in any game ever. The entire dynamic of the game changes. Different characters appear, shops close. Characters go about their day whilst you're practicing fighting in the park. I had an epiphany whilst I was playing, and I really think it best sums up how I feel about this game. Every area you go to has got like this city area has got like 50 fucking builders and a million soundtracks for everything. And the guy says, oh, go to the port. And I'm like, oh shit, a new place. That might have new stuff. You enter the bar and there's a cinematic break of the billiards board. They didn't have to do any of this. They could have got away with just skipping it, but they didn't because they care and it makes the difference. I've been of drinking age for over 10 years and it still feels like I'm a kid on the streets in this game. Gotta dodge the unsavory characters.
I'm looking for a place where sailors hang out. Do they come here?
Sailors?
My time is up reviewing this game, but this timeless classic will live on.
It's this late already? I should go home.
I really never thought I'd say this, but this is easily the best game I've played so far. I love it. Eventually I'm going to complete all of this game, and I'll probably move on to Shenmue 2 as well. I hope that's just as good. Remember when I said that Sonic Adventure 1 has the best intro to a game? This is the best opening cutscene, which leads into the best first level of all time.
Attention all units. Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads and capture the suspect.
Listen, we both know that this is one of the greatest games ever to exist. But this is my first time playing it on the Dreamcast. I've only really ever played the GameCube port, which has its advantages, don't get me wrong, but has its problems too. Graphically, the Dreamcast blows it out of the water. This is how it's meant to look, and they got it spot on. The adverts in-game relating to an in-game movie and other Dreamcast game is a great touch. Now, one thing I want to talk about is a lot of things that people complain about this game. A lot of people don't like the treasure hunting, and for me this is easily one of the best parts. They get it right because these levels don't drag on. You might get stuck for a while, but the PCs are there to help you, and it's never any more than a few minutes. Apart from Mad Space. After all, this game wouldn't be an adventure without exploring. Don't get me wrong, Sonic Adventure would be a great game if you just played the Sonic and Shadow stages, it really would. But I really appreciate how the treasure hunting levels don't slow you down. They still feel fast and snappy, you're trying to find the treasure as fast as you can. And whilst the mech parts really aren't my favourite, I can let them off. Even they have a hint of speed about them. And they don't drag on forever. And they make it oh so more sweet when you get to do this. Sonic and Shadow stages are the shining jewels amongst the Dreamcast crown. I've never experienced pure fun and joy like I have on these levels. There's never barely a second where you're not having fun. And I'll be playing this game for many years to come. Another must play. Stop exactly what you're doing now and go and play it. I promise you'll have no regrets. Alright, let's... That sounds like you made the intro.
Well, I could be the wizard.
You could be the wizard, but the wizard is shit, so don't be the wizard. This game isn't particularly well constructed. The HUD looks like a try-hard WoW player. But I like the simplicity of the rest of the game. Here's a guy, you're a big dude with a sword, go kill him. I'm a big fan of the stages and the graphics. Every single bit of the game is super grungy. There's not a single moment where you're not in some blown up, decrepit place fighting some giant demon. I appreciate that whilst it's not super polished, the fun part of the game is all of the game. They don't drip feed you any of it, they give it you in full blast right up front. So even though I didn't love this game, I can respect it. If you're a fan of Spawn, you could play this game. It's pretty good. What do you think the gameplay is going to be for this game? Is this a rhythm game?
Mate, Among Us is going fucking sick.
Why is her neck moving like that? What the fuck is this? Did she just say ooh la la here?
Yeah, that's her name.
Name's unironically ooh la la. Wait, why is she built like a really zesty fruit?
Turns out it is a rhythm game. It is painfully hard too. Even the very first interactions you have require pinpoint precision. Right, left, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Backman, you're hard inting, mate. What the fuck?
Fucking, there's a cat on my table!
I got ganked by my cat.
There's a fuck. Stop getting on the desk!
Imagine like your like working class English dad coming into the room and watching you play this. How the fuck could you explain that?
Out of all of the games, I didn't expect to rage at this one.
How fucking close does it want the timing to be? The beat completely changes! What do you want me to do?
You can just call it a day, mate.
Maybe I've got 2 left feet, or maybe I'm just a simpleton. I kinda got the hang of it towards the end. This is a really hard game, but it is kinda good. You could play it if you like the look of it. I wouldn't be offended if this is your favourite game.
Soul Fighter. Oh, fuck. Holy.
Chocolate Man. Chocolate Woman. Chocolate Man 2.
What the fuck?
This game is wank.
Wait, this looks kinda cool.
It isn't.
Look at OG runs.
Oh shit, me son.
Yeah, don't bother wasting your time on this. It might look pretty cool, but it's just not. Don't play this, please. Don't. There's better fighting games that begin with Soul.
Star Wars. Demolition.
Nice.
Can you guess which of the intros are James and which ones are the real intros? I don't know anymore. I also don't know how I feel about this game. It feels and plays like an N64 game. And to be honest, it's what I imagine that if you were a kid and you had a bunch of Star Wars toys, a Star Wars playmat, and you rammed all of the toys together, this is what you would imagine goes on in your imagination. It's like a big Star Wars what if.
No, get me out. He's on top of us.
What if I was Boba Fett and I was flying around on the Death Star and I had an R2 attached to me and I had giant rocket launchers on my left and I was fighting AT-STs and what if it was just Chip? Soulcalibur is the kind of game where you just know that no matter what, this is going to be good. There's no chance it could be bad. One thing I love about reviewing of these Dreamcast games is that I get to play the originals of a lot of series. Soulcalibur did not disappoint. I'm a sucker for any game with a ring out.
Oh shit.
You're probably bored of me telling you about how good the graphics are for a certain game, but come on, this is it. It seems like to stand out from other fighting games, they made this game really heavy on the damage. Keeps it super fast paced when you break someone's neck. Maybe they thought, well, we've got swords in this fighting game, so therefore it must do more damage. The dark lit stages are really where it gets good though. Look at all the shading and the lighting and the shadows, it's just perfect. Some games today don't get this as good. And look at the way that Ivy executes these people. Ugh! God!
Oh shit, is it a boss battle?
The final boss was slightly underwhelming. Wasn't the smartest of opponents, shall we say.
Flew off the stage.
That was a sick attack. Can someone make a joke about this guy being called Edge Master? What, it's in there somewhere, right?
Come on, man, you've got to play Soulcalibur. This game's fucking sick. Let me tell you a bit about me. I never played Ocarina of Time as a kid. I have no nostalgia for it. But as an adult I played it and thought, wow, this is 10 out of 10 perfect game, best of all time. It's a classic that deserves the love. Similarly, I never watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid. When I watched it in my mid-20s I thought, wow, underneath this garbage filler, there is something gold. And that something gold is Dragon Ball Z Kai. But for Skies of Arcadia, there isn't a Skies of Arcadia, Kai. And I'm coming into this with absolutely no nostalgia. I'd never even heard of the game until a few years ago. And I've got quite a lot of thoughts I want to share with you about this game. And I've got to tread carefully, because I don't want to alienate my whole audience. So please, please bear with me. I'm going to try to be as fair as I possibly can. I really, really went into this game with high expectations. And I really went into it hoping to like it. I did. On the outlook, you're a pirate flying in the sky. But then you get into combat and it's turn-based. Which, you know, it's not a deal breaker, but it's not my favourite. Maybe it'll be interesting. But it's not like that. Half of what I did was fight tanky enemies that took 1,000,000 hits to kill, or enemies that used run as soon as they spawned in. So many of these pointless encounters just felt so forced and unnecessary. And it's such a shame because underneath all of this, there's a fun game where you fly around on a flying pirate ship in the skies. And you have fun adventures and you explore, and then it's all interrupted by this fucking bullshit fighting where they just run as soon as they spawn. I don't get it. Let me do the fun part. We're back in the sky. Thank God. Oh, for fuck's sakes. It's so frustrating because out of those moments, there's atmosphere. There's a desire to seek out the unknown. I want to go crawl in this dungeon. The absence of music and just the sounds of the water is phenomenal. The textures are easily some of the best. And the world building is incredible. Exploring these eerie ruins, and then it's all gone again. Hitting opponents that will just flee as soon as they can. And then you're right back into fun again. Solving puzzles, exploring, it's incredible. And then, whilst you're full HP, I fought the same enemies that fled me last time. Except this time, it paralyzed me. Both of my party members, and I had to watch as this low-level enemy that usually uses run wipes my entire team. And it's so ridiculously painful to watch. I just want to get back to the fun part, but the developers are purposefully making me look like a prick. I revisited on different days. I didn't want to give up. I really didn't. Because look at the game ahead of me. Nope. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, no, now the game's over. Now it's game over. It's game over, mate. Oh, what? Tell me what's good about this. I can't believe people like this. I genuinely can't believe it.
Are you done with Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah, this game sucks absolute cock.
It truly is a shame. Maybe this is a game that needs a remaster. The character designs are great. The world building is amazing. I'm on a floating pirate island. I want to play this. But it's just too painful. Even with the fantastic soundtrack and atmosphere, it's just not enough to carry me through the bullshit. I want to look past this horizon. I really do. And before you unsubscribe and dislike, please, go back and play this game if you loved it as a kid. Or actually, no. Don't do that. Enjoy what you thought of this game. Enjoy the memories of it, because I'm sure they're great memories. Enjoy this game for what it is in your mind. If you have nostalgia for this game, I don't blame you, because underneath all of this, somewhere, there is a good game.
Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3.
Third Strike might just be the perfect fighting game. The barrier to entry is low, and the skill ceiling is on the moon. Even I, with no experience, can pull off a super with no problem in the first game. But the computers give me enough challenge that they'll still beat me in the same round. Easy to understand, takes a lifetime to master. Perfect blend. What I do know about Street Fighter is that Alex Valle is my hero, so you know I had to pick Hugo. Not quite as good as him though. I really love the idle animations in this game.
Look at it. Look at his fucking swagger, bro. Oh my god.
Ain't no way. Nah.
Nah, I got fucked.
Honestly, I've got no jokes. It's flawless. Stylized, fun to play, huge roster, even bigger thighs, snappy as you like. This is the fighting game. You must play it. You can enjoy Japanese croquet unique to this game.
Ain't no way. Mate, I love Japanese croquet.
I thought we were playing croquet, bro. What's this?
It says croquet.
I mean, he's not wrong, it is croquet. Back to the matters at hand though, this game lets you choose your golf balls. And you can choose your clubs. I feel like I've got to do a defense of this game. Because I actually think it's pretty good. Look, the graphics aren't blowing anyone away. Let's just get that out of the question. Visually, could be a Game Boy game. But if you can look past that, it's pretty good. Golf games have a habit of being either way too easy or way too hard. And this finds a nice middle ground. Essentially, the more power you go for by aiming at the top, the faster the meter will go, and the smaller the zone will be at the bottom. Makes it very satisfying when you do this.
Oh no. Oh, smurfed it! Oh.
He formed.
Now I've done it.
If you like golf games, you could play this. Acapella courtesy of Lorenzo, thank you for filling in the copyrighted music. Star Wars Racer is an impressively boring game. Now you might think 500-mile-an-hour racing at Mach 10 speeds would be fun, but you'd be wrong. They managed to make it boring. Impressively dull. The races are so void of anything. There might be 12 opponents, but you'll be lucky to see 3. And the only threat you have is yourself. Every single course is a series of long straights, and maybe if you're lucky you'll get a turn or two. They've got the entire Star Wars universe to make sick tracks, but look, it's just straight, straight, maybe another straight. Real life circuits are more interesting than these. You shouldn't play this unless you really love pod racing. Trying to understand the story of Super Magnet Neo will give you a headache. Would you believe that was all the same cutscene? This is like Japanese game show levels of crazy. I don't even quite know what the objective is. Am I taking down bad guys? Am I doing an obstacle course? I couldn't tell you. The characters move around nicely, I guess? It'd be harsh to call this bad, but can I really call it good? I think it's trying to be too quirky for its own good, even for 90s Japan. I somehow only managed to acquire the demo disc for this game, so unfortunately, that's all there is. Probably shouldn't play. Suzuki Extreme Racing is one of those games where the game isn't fun, but you can do fun things. You could play it if you really like MotoGP games. I've got more to say than you might expect for this one. I've played my share of boat racing games so far. It's definitely not as good as Hydro Thunder, but it's way better than Aqua GT. I feel like I've got fair critique for this, because it does a lot of things right. The graphics look great, the environments are pretty cool. They caught some of the thrill of jet skiing, but just not all of it. For example, the Rome circuit, they flooded the streets and you can drive around the Colosseum. A fairly cool fantasy concept, but outside of that, it can just get a bit boring. You can end up floating around half-assed for a lot of the time, but then you get stunning shots like this. It does have some highlights. Whoa. I think they should have gone more fantasy. The real life locations are cool, but they could have really amped it up a peg or two. You know, really Dreamcastify it. Let me jet ski into space or something. If you really love boat racing, give it a try. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles features everyone's favourite 240p heroes. You don't remember Adi Gallia? A highlight from this game was the extendo. Why is his lightsaber so big? What the fuck? But apart from that, it was just another unremarkable game. I like slicing up droids as much as the next guy, but it's one of these awkward Dreamcast games that's neither great nor bad, which makes it one of the least fun games to play. At least if it was terrible, it would be funny. This generation of Star Wars games really didn't hit the mark, especially when you compare them to the next generation like Battlefront and Rogue Squadron. It's not worth revisiting. Sword of the Berserk, however, is worth revisiting. I plan to watch the anime at some point, so I decided that I was going to play this game by skipping the cutscenes. 1 minute, I'm just walking about, minding my own business, and then...
Yeah, no, it's sick.
Is this the one where they say Griffiths did the thing wrong?
Griffiths did a lot wrong.
Don't spoil, James.
The developers decided that, hey, let's have the whole game be the fun part. Here's a big sword, go mow down some demons, and I will oblige. In a weird way, it reminds me of God Hand. Just go murder all of the enemies in a certain area, and that's the mission. I really like when you go into the rage mode as well. Swing like your life depends on it, because it does. But it's not just complete brain dead swinging. In close quarters, it pays to get your fists out, because when you swing the sword and it hits a wall, it will stun you. But it's never long before you're right back to... I imagine if you've watched or read Berserk, this will be even better for you. But I haven't, and I still thought it was a great game. I do appreciate the accessibility. It's not easy either, and when you get low on health, you can really have to clutch out some situations with your rage meter. You take no damage while enraged, so you've got a short amount of time to kill everyone in the vicinity. Which is especially important if you're a complete simpleton like me and didn't realise that you've got a health button on the D-pad.
Oh!
And a gun on the D-pad. Plenty of variety of things to kill, and plenty of satisfaction gained from doing so. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 is incredible. How on earth does a game that's over 25 years old still stand the test of time in a series that's had over 20 entries? And it still makes the top 5 for most people. The perfect soundtrack is only exemplified by the fact that you can go and watch the music videos in-game. I imagine it cost a lot, but what a great decision. No frills, all fun. Jumping off the school roof to earn yourself a cassette tape? Perfect. This game rewards you for doing everything that you would want to do as a 90s kid but weren't allowed to. The mission is to skate in an empty mall, and the objective is to smash the windows. It sounds simple, but it's so effective, because that's what you wanted to do as a punk in the 90s, I imagine. The majority of my audience is way over 30, so please let me know if this was the case. Growing up, this wasn't my Tony Hawk's game. That was reserved for Pro Skater 3. But even coming back all of these years later, you can clearly see that this is one of the best. It's a real testament to the series about being inspired from the time they were made. Like Underground 2 having a Jackass theme. The original is all about being a punk. But there were so many rumours going around school about where all the secret tapes are. The game is summed up for me in the downhill jam level. Take all of the skills you've learned up until now, and go and have fun. Here's the biggest gaps, go and jump them. Here's the biggest rails, go and grind them, or miss. There's just a feeling to this game that I can't quite describe. From the sound effects, to the levels, to the designs, it just has a certain gritty aura about it. This is the grandfather of skateboarding games, and it did such a good job bringing it into the limelight. And with my reviews, I don't even factor in things like that. I review games for what they are, and what this game still is a masterpiece. Get your notepad out, write this game down at the top of the list, and go get yourself a Dreamcast. I promise you won't regret it. There's no Rodney Mullen? 1 out of 10. You know it's when the loading icon is a foot.
Oh no.
In a galaxy far, far away. This stupid orange prick is hunted down by equally moronic hitman. After watching his boys get iced.
Hey guys, you never believe what I just saw on TV!
He makes a run for it to the bog. Oh, was it a point?
Oh, it's a point.
I was not ready for a point and click. Yeah, the perfect time to take a shit, dude.
I am never
Unfortunately, opening the door didn't progress the story.
This game is insane.
Now, I'm not a total noob to point and click. I managed to play RuneScape for 10 years. But the first level took it to the next degree of bull. Thankfully, Lorenzo had a plan.
You see the little hanging string on the toilet?
Yep. Oh, okay.
That sound reminds me of my mother-in-law's baptism.
Okay.
Now use the... now you should have a plunger with a string.
No. Okay, I've used the plunger on the toilet and I'm going to pull the chain. It's going to splash me in the face like a...
Sound reminds me of my mother's baptism.
Okay, take a shit.
As it turns out, it had nothing to do with taking a shit. All of this is just the first room. There's plenty more left of the game. First, there's a murder.
Is he dead? Is that his eyeballs?
Yeah.
Bollocks dead.
Then the alien reads a porn magazine. This really happens. Incredibly, despite all of that, you should play it. It's a genuinely fun game. Maybe not for too long, though. Tom Clancy's Rogue Spear is a game where you need a master's degree to play.
What the f...
What am I looking at?
Whatever it meant, I'm sure it wasn't this.
Kiddo.
It hasn't aged all that well. Tokyo Extreme Race is an interesting one for me.
Wait, I get the AA6.
That's insane.
It was insane, and you know I had to pick the 11. This is every Wangan Highway Initial D fan's dream game, to a point. The gameplay loop is swerving in and out of traffic on the highway and trying to beat your rival. You do this by catching up to them, overtaking them, and then pulling away. There's no set finish line. Car collection is one of the best I've ever seen. It's got nearly every single classic. If you like JDM, this is near perfect. It has everything you could ever want. And the story mode has you free roam around the city and initiating street races. This sounds perfect, but it just falls a bit flat. I think Inner City or the Toge would have been a better choice. The variety in cars doesn't mean all that much when you're just going for top speed 90% of the time. But I must admit, visually and audially, I am impressed. VTech sounds great. It is a shame, but I just can't recommend this game over any of the others in the franchise. It's hard to justify revisiting when the new one looks so great. All in all, it's still a fairly good game. UEFA Dream Soccer might just be the best football game on the Dreamcast. It's got all of your favourite completely licensed players. It is like mystery football though. The camera doesn't actually let you see where you're passing to.
Oh! Red pen red!
2 pens,
Pen.
yeah.
Get there then. Who's number 10 for England? Who am I playing as?
Might be Owen. What a pen.
It was Michael Owen. Once you get the camera angle sorted out in the settings, it's definitely the best football game so far. If you want to trip down memory lane, give it a spin. You could play it. This game was so bad it turned Lorenzo into a graphic designer.
The HUD is all over the place. Speed on the right in blue, then in the top is green, then in the left it's blue again, and then in the bottom left it's blue, and then on the bottom right it's yellow. Like, it's just all over the place.
I explained this so eloquently.
It's also jarringly similar to a game called SSX in like a really jarring way.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and get a pizza, and then you go to the frozen section and buy a pizza. This game's just a fragment of what SSX would later become, and it just reminds you of something better. It doesn't handle well, it doesn't look good, and it's just not fun, but it has all the right ingredients.
Coming soon.
Still bringing out content.
Is there DLC?
There's a surprising amount of games that try to replicate toy warfare, and I think this is the best one I've played yet. Dreamcast or not, this is the game that captures the essence of it the best. You get to cruise around in so many different vehicles. Performing household tasks becomes fun. Dropping a sugar in a tea is exhilarating. You can gun down apples, fly into a cat, knock eggs into a pot. It's probably cliche to say, but this is exactly what was going on in your mind when you're a kid playing with toys. However, like most Dreamcast games, it's brutally hard. I don't know if you're a kid if you could beat this game. The opening missions don't take any prisoners. My favourite level is when the kitchen sink was left on too long and the whole kitchen floods. You have to blow up submarines and protect this little boat. It's funny how carefully crafted these smaller titles are. There's so much to do and so many vehicles to pick. So many different levels, you unlock parts of the house at different times. And yet I've never heard of this game. I never hear people talk about it, I've never seen gameplay of it. But it's just a brilliant game.
And a bit Sean.
The driving part reminds me of Micro Machines, which they definitely need to make another game of. Anyone have these as a kid? You should play this. Honestly, it's good. There's no romance in this, they're just blowing each other up. In a game about giant mechs, you'd think there'd be more than one attack button, but you'd be wrong. This is a really bizarre game because I think it sucks, but a little part of me did like it. I think I like the impact sounds the most.
Extreme Impact.
I would really love to know why it's called Tech Romancer though. This is not romantic. My best character was this one where she's got a village on her head and various buses for arms, and is a small child for some reason.
It can be blocked, so you need to make sure that ain't no way. Oh, what? Huh? You invite him for tea?
Don't play it though, there's so many better fighting games. Speaking of, Virtua Fighter is a game that I didn't really like when I first played it. I played a couple of rounds and thought it was mid. But then I realised that it takes a different approach to most of the fighting games. Take this with a grain of salt, but it's more based in reality than anything else I've played. There's no power-ups or crazy supers, the ring-out's a 2-foot drop. But because it's real, everything feels so much more impactful. The time between rounds was a bit long though. I really like the exclusion of anything crazy like supers and big combos. It makes you focus on your fighting game fundamentals. There's no gimmicks, you've just got to be better. I'd be tempted to call it a purist's fighting game. And the more I played, the more I really grew to appreciate it. This is what you'd play if you really wanted to compare the skill of two players. But by far, my favourite part about this game is just how painful everything looks and sounds. Nasty backhand. This small drop just looks devastating. I can just feel the cold and the pain from that, let alone this. But that's not all, because the music's amazing, the stages are amazing, the backgrounds are great. You fight in so many locations. You know when I said it was based in reality? Maybe this stage where I kill this guy off the top of a skyscraper is a bit far-fetched. But you should play it. There might only be 2 Olympics games on the Dreamcast, but this is the best one. I thought I was pretty good at mashing, but these guys cooked me. There's classic no controls showed. Track and field is my gold standard for Olympics games, and this is definitely worthy of being in the same category. I don't think people appreciate these games enough. If you've got a couple of boys around and a couple of beers, there's nothing better than an Olympics game. Be sure to time your jump right though. If you're lucky enough to have some friends, get them around to play this. It's better than most of the modern entries, I think. For the right person, you could play this. V-Rally 2 is god-awful. You can't have a game not look good on the Dreamcast. But they do have a Peugeot 106. And I love a French hot hatch as much as the next guy. But it's not enough to save a game like this. This game is shocking. Plenty of better rally games before and after. You shouldn't play this. So this game came out, and I don't think tennis games have changed since at all. And I don't think that's a bad thing. From Mario Tennis to Topspin, they all follow the formula of this, and it works perfectly. It's nice to go back and visit the grandfather of tennis games. And it's definitely still playable because none of the other games do anything different. If you like tennis games, you'll love this. A I'd love to know how they made the sound effects. They sound odd. I've played some aggressively bad arcade ports, but by God, this might just take the cake. What is bro screaming at? This is aggressively bad. Do not play tier.
He didn't drink the real powder.
Real.
Unreal Tournament is a game that you shouldn't play on the Dreamcast, but if you do, turn off this 1v1 boring mode. This game's all about killing everyone with a rocket launcher. The joy in this game comes from mowing down hordes of enemies and being 1v9. It doesn't shy away from being shameless chaos, and for that it has my respect. Controls aside, I still really like it. You should play it on PC, but you could play it on the Dreamcast. This JRPG got off to a good start, which is rare. The character's name is hilariously Sword. And the turn-based combat, miraculously, doesn't waste your time. Look at this. This is how you make turn-based. No cutscenes, just fight.
Well, this game doesn't waste your time.
For that, and for the expansive lands, different places to visit, princesses to save, cool places to go, this game gets my respect, and you definitely could play it. Wacky Races is a comically ambitious kart racer. When I first played, I started off by picking the Turbo Terrific, which was obviously a mistake. I should have been Penelope Pitstop. To kick things off, this game has an open world. You can drive around in the desert, you can drive around in the sand, you can drive around in the lake. I think hub worlds make any game 10 times better. The racing is not half bad too. What it does best is it keeps the game fun at all times. You're constantly getting blown up or attacked, and that's because everyone is so bunched together. I don't know if it's a special rubber banding that they've used, but 9 times out of 10 there's all 8 cars on screen. Keeps you engaged for the whole race. This is an honest game, and if you like kart races, you could give it a go. UFC. Really strange game. All that happened for me was I punched this guy in the head for about 20 minutes. And the punches are the most obvious drum kit sounds I've ever heard. And then he made me tap before I could play. You probably shouldn't play it. Man, the fighting games that aren't fighting games sure do struggle. This is a personal assault to my ears. I'm so sorry you have to listen to this too. Do not for any reason play this. It sucks. And the very last game on the list, Zombie Revenge.
Hey, look, it's G. Ain't no. Wait, is this to do with Red?
Wait.
It's got music.
Unbeknown to us, this turns out it's a side quest to the House of the Dead. It works in all the similar ways, just in third person.
What the fuck? That zombie has a fucking gun.
Wait, he's got a fucking
bullets.
Don't walk on the fire. Everything from the House of the Dead transfers completely over to this. It's just as campy, and it's just as bizarre.
She's got tits, bro.
Real
throwback. If you like House of the Dead, give it a shot. If you like funny voice acting, you could definitely play this. And I've got some loose ends to tie up. Somehow I missed Marvel vs. Capcom 2. One of the most important fighting games of all time. My experience and knowledge of this game comes down to watching it at EVO. I don't really know what it's like from a casual's perspective. I was slightly worried that it might not be good, but I couldn't have been more wrong. Before I even talk about the gameplay, the art style is incredible. The pixelated characters in the foreground, contrasting the full HD and super smooth background, looks amazing. And on top of that, you've got one of the best soundtracks to boot. Even if you were to take away all of that, you've still got a silky smooth team fighter on your hands. Everything is intuitive, and it's not too scary for a beginner. It can get a bit hectic, but I never felt overwhelmed. I think the roster was really good too. I could be Jill Valentine teaming up with Zangief. This is a game that you could definitely come back to, because it plays just as good, if not better, than most modern fighting games. It really does feel like they could release this today and I wouldn't bat an eye. Maybe not such a bad idea. A remaster would do nice. I'm definitely going to look more into this as well. I need to go and watch the top EVO sets for this for sure. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a masterpiece. and I have no hesitation to say that you must go and play this. Grandia II, this is for you. You didn't think I'd forget, did you? This is the last Dreamcast game I'm going to review, and it's a JRPG? Am I going to end on a low? This is a game about a boy and his bird, and by God, this boy runs fast. My main critique of this game is that the character moves too fast. I can't take anything in when I'm running at the speed of sound. And after Skies of Arcadia, I always go into these games with a bit of a chip on my shoulder. I'm so concerned that it's just going to waste my time and nothing's going to be of any use. But I found myself wanting to play more. The characters are genuinely charming, and the combat's got a fun little quirk to it too. Essentially, the turn order is dictated by this little bar at the bottom. The closer you are to the act, the closer you are to attacking. It's a nice visual indicator to what's going on, so you're not completely left in the dark. Don't get me wrong, it'd be better if it wasn't turn-based, but this isn't too bad. The story is fairly interesting too. All of the characters are racist to the Geohounds, which is what you are as the main character, and it throws you straight in. No crazy tutorials, just straight to the game. I especially like the dynamic between you and the bird. It's like Banjo-Kazooie, except this time the bird isn't a... I was genuinely charmed by this game. If you can stomach the time sink, and you can get past a JRPG, I think this game has a lot to offer. And with that, let's get on to the award show. You should play it. Welcome everyone to the Dreamcast Award Show. It's time to hand out awards for the best, worst, and everything in the middle. First up is Hidden Gem. This is the game that surprised me the most. Something I've never heard of. Here are the candidates. F355 Challenge, easily the best racer. Toy Commander, a fantastic game that's never discussed. Dreamcast Extreme Sports. This flew really under the radar, but it's fantastic. Dragon's Blood, an incredible RPG that I've never heard once. Or Fighting Vipers 2, a really funny fighter. And the winner is... Dragon's Blood, a real diamond in the rough. Please go out and play this game. Up next is the category of Most Dreamcast Game. This is the game that most sums up the Dreamcast. Cutting edge and revolutionary, but didn't quite meet the mark of expectation. Our candidates are Omicron, truly one of the most bizarre games I've ever played. Dynamite Cop, quintessential crazy Dreamcast game. Space Channel 5, bizarre to the core. Rez, more of an experience than a game. And Stupid Invaders, really stupid. And the winner is... It's Omicron. No one's ever played it. Dreamcast by David Bowie. Really bizarre concept. Had to be the winner. The next category, eventually, is the best viewer game. This is the game that my friends enjoyed me streaming the most. They came together and decided a winner for this. Legacy of Kain was a really fun game that got all of us involved. Ecco the Dolphin was a game they really enjoyed watching me rage at. Headhunter was easily the funniest game we played. Power Stone, another really hard rage bait, hours on end. Stupid Invaders is Stupid Invaders. And the winner is... Headhunter. This might be the only award it ever wins, but it really does deserve it. This game was hilarious. The final decision was changed multiple times. Really could have been anyone's game. And with all of that, that's the minor categories out of the way. Time to get on to the big hitters. If we could turn the lights down, please. Thank you. One of the most prestigious awards of the night. Worst game. Here are your contenders. Charge and Blast, Dragon Riders, Chicken Run, Virtua Striker, and the wrestling game. And the winner is... It's ECW Anarchy Rules, but really, it's all of the wrestling games. They're all just as bad. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. What is the best game? here are your candidates. Sonic Adventure 2, Dead or Alive 2, Power Stone 2, Shenmue, and Sega Marine Fishing. It didn't take me too long to decide, because really, there was only ever going to be one winner. It was never really a question, was it? This game is so far ahead of its time, and it's easily the best game on the Dreamcast. Thank you so much for watching. This has taken me well over 12 months to create, and as bizarre as it might sound, has been a life-changing experience. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time for the Xbox.